session we will talk a very interesting topic, that is the humor at workplace. Now you see, that is the yes, we have to be formal at the workplace with our professional roles, but in that workplace also, when we are spending the whole time of a day, a long time of a day, and then we are talking about a very important discussions and meetings, and the serious work is going on. So, just to get relaxed, we can have the humor also at the workplace, but naturally we have to learn, that is the how we can have the humor and what type of the humor we can do, and the two here I will also discuss the dimensional model of workplace humor, humor uses and personality factors, some research papers, the benefits of the humor. So, according to Wickberg study, humor are oriented from a Latin word, that is humorum, which means a fluid or liquid. This meaning of the word is still prevalent in physiology, and the Greek physician Hippocrates in 4 BC believed that good health depends on the correct balance and functioning of the 4 fluids or humors. Later, another Greek physician Galen, 2nd century AD, found out that the excess of one of the humors or fluids can result in certain kind of temperament or the mood swings. In the English language, the word humor was borrowed from the French word humeur, which means mood. If we talk about the definition of the humor, then the definition of humor is any communicative instance which is perceived as humorous. And consists of non-verbal and verbal communication which produce a positive cognitive or affective response from the listeners. Consistent with these definitions, we propose that organizational humor consists of the amusing communications that produce positive emotions and cognitions in the individual, group or organization. World famous actor, comedian Charlie Chaplin once said that a day without laughter is a day wasted. So, therefore, in that case many times we are having the different sense of humor, and then the good is, that is the affiliating humor is there, and self enhancing humor. So, therefore, any humor which is developing the affiliation or that what is the self enhancing, then definitely that will be the good humor is there. But the bad humor is, that is the aggressive humor and the self defeating humor is there. So, when we are talking about the affiliative humor, affiliative humor is like a social lubricant that facilitates interpersonal interaction and creates a positive environment. When affiliative humor is employed in organizations, the initiator's intention is usually to bring people together, because we are talking about more towards developing the affiliations. Individuals who exhibit this behavior are liked by others and are usually perceived as non-threatening. By utilizing this style of non-hostile and affirming humor, one can lessen interpersonal tensions and aid in relationship building. And therefore, in that case it will be very light, that is it will be the non-threatening will be there, and one can lessen interpersonal tensions also. So, therefore, we are going at workplace with the so many roles and responsibilities, and those roles and responsibilities naturally they create the tension, especially from the family side, personal side, and if somebody makes us to laugh, then definitely it will be lessen our tension and aid in relationship building, and naturally the relationship building will be there. Examples of affiliative humor include funny stories particular to a group, inside jokes, and the good natured practical jokes that are traditionally played on people during the social events. So, normally what we do, that is the when we talk about the funny stories or the about a particular group, or the when we were talking about this sometimes inside jokes also. So, that at workplace at the right time in a right manner we should be able to crack the jokes, and good natured practical jokes that are traditionally played on people. So, therefore, if we say any proverb and then we say that this applies to you, and therefore, then in that case you will find that is the yes that is making a situation to laugh. After affiliating humor, we will talk about the self-enhancing humor. This humor style is centered more on the individual when compared to affiliative humor. So, therefore, it is centered towards the more. When this type of humor is used in organizations, the initiator's intention is to enhance his or her image relative to others in the group or organization. So, this is also one sort of the impression management. So, when we are having the impression management, so in impression management what we try to do, that is the if somebody who is cracking the jokes, then definitely he will be remembered and the people will like him. So, therefore, in that case that is the it is the image relative to others in the group or organization, and when we are talking about these image relative, so you are creating this particular impression. This particular impression that will create the sense of humor, and an image will be created that this person is jolly in nature. There is tendency to maintain a humorous outlook on life which assists in maintaining a positive perspective. So, therefore, always normally what people do, normally people are taking life very seriously, and throughout their life they are involved into solving the problems and identifying the solutions, and then trying to make a serious thought about the life. But when we are talking about when you are having the humorous outlook, so what will happen, that is you are maintaining a positive perspective in that particular direction. So, therefore, it becomes very important, that is the what sort of the approach you have towards your life. So, it does not mean that is we will, if we have the humor, so we will be non-serious. No, at the proper intervals, and in the serious life also we can have a joy, happiness, and the humor. So, therefore, in that we will find that is the if we are creating our outlook on such a way that is it become humorous. People exhibiting this kind of humor are not overly distressed when faced with the threat or any kind of adversity. So, naturally, who will be able to crack the jokes? Who is not having that any threat in the mind or any kind of adversity in life. If the person is having any kind of adversity in life or threat in life, then he will not be able to crack the jokes at the workplace. It acts mostly as a coping mechanism. So, coping mechanism helping the person why to sustain a humorous perspective of life when faced with the stress. So, naturally always we have to try to see, that is if somebody is in the stress, then we are making the environment lighter, and that will making the lighter environment, the jokes play a very important role. So, it is a stress coping strategy. If we are able to making the stress coping strategies, then we will be sustain a humorous perspective of our life, even though we are going through a stress. Aggressive humor, this is viewed as a means of enhancing the self at the expenses of others. So, in this affiliative and humor and the self enhancing humor, there where focus was to coping with the stress, to be positivity, to make the moments lighter. But when we are talking about the aggressive humor, and if it is not properly controlled, then it will lead to the insult. So, therefore, it has to be very carefully we have to talk about the humor, because but it should not be at the expenses of others. It is a tendency to use humor for the purpose of manipulating, ridiculing or criticizing others. So, therefore, criticizing others and other people's laugh and that type of humor, that will be called the aggressive humor is there. So, naturally from the name itself is clear, that is if you are using this type of the techniques for the humor, then that will be a negative one. It can be used to belittle, victimize and cause others some type of the disparagement. So, therefore, in that case actually what we are victimizing somebody. In aggressive humor, when we are focusing on somebody and then that is true at its cost, and therefore, what we are doing, we are victimizing somebody, and therefore naturally that situation that will be over stress, that will not be stress free. It uses various mechanisms like teasing, sarcasm, ridicule, and potentially offensive forms of humor, racist or sexist, and this type of behavior is there. So therefore this will be the aggressive humor. The another type of the humor is the self-defeating humor. People who utilize self-defeating humor ridicule themselves in an attempt to amuse and seek acceptance from others. So why when we are making the self-defeating humor, because that we want to make the acceptance by others. So if the other persons are not able to accept us, so therefore we cut the jokes which will be self-defeating, and the person will that person will feel that is, yes, we should accept that particular personality. It is done by doing or saying funny things about oneself and laughing along with others when being mocked or ridiculed, and therefore in that case that is making the other persons, it is a self towards the self. So therefore making the oneself, then definitely in that case laughing along with the then this will be the mocked or ridiculed. People who use a moderate amount of this humor style in organizations often desire to reduce their status level and make themselves more approachable. So it is becoming the very style where they are normally what they do, they reduce their status level, because they will, if they will keep themselves at the high status and that stature and that protocol, then definitely that will not be the self-defeating humor. For self-defeating humor, the person may be of higher position, but he is making reducing their status level by reducing the status level, and then making the more approachable, and when he makes himself more approachable, then definitely that will be the self-defeating humor is there. Now here we will see the two-dimensional model of the workplace humor. The one side is the self-focused, other is the other focused is there, and in x-axis we will find that is the self-focused and the other focused, while in the y-axis it is the positive and negative. So first we will talk about self-focused, that is the self-focused and the positive. So in this cell we will find that is it is the self-enhancing humor and that works here, because when self-enhancing humor is there, so therefore one project oneself and then it helps in coping humor, and therefore this will be the helping the person to coming with the coping the humor and reducing the stress. While when we talk about the other focused and positive, and in this case it will be more towards the social humor. The social humor and then this socially warm humor will be, that will be the technique that will be used, and the generation of the humor or social uses of humor will be there, and here this will be the social humor and the repressed humor that will be focusing towards the other. When we are talking about the other focused and negative, so naturally that will be the hostile humor. In hostile humor you are focusing the others and that is too negatively. So it is better that is the not to do this type of the humor, because that may create more conflict and spoil the interpersonal relationship. So when you want to make the use of the humor at the workplace to maintain the self enhancing or the affiliative, then in that case we should avoid these hostile humor, the cold humor and the mean spirited or the superiority humor one should avoid, and therefore it will be like this, the self focused, and then if negative is there, then it will be the then in that case it will be self defeating. So when we say, that is whenever it is a positive, then in the positive we are always talking about the self enhancing humor is there. So self enhancing humor that will help an individual to develop himself. However, for the self focus, when there is a negative, then that definitely that will be self defeating is there. So in this case the what we understand is, that is the humor uses and personality factors, either they are self or they are towards the others, like in this previous slide also we have seen, that is this is about self and this is about the other focus is there. Then always in the openness and the positive, please we be openness, have a openness towards the colleagues, agreeableness, that is the yes, have the agreeableness towards your colleagues, especially some suppose and subordinates too, so that you will be able to make this particular function in a more smooth way. Then there will be the agency. Agency will be working on this particular aspect, that is the how it depends, that is whether it will be self enhancing or not. Communication, then the communion. So, when we communion we are talking about, then definitely it is difficult to say that is what will be the impact is there, but the self esteem is there, and whenever we are talking about the self esteem, the positive self humor, then definitely it will be making the self esteem to be higher. But when these positive and others are there, so there will be the openness, there will be agreeableness will be there, but agency and communion difficult to say, then affiliative and the self esteem will be helping. In the negative humor uses and personality factors, we will find example self defeating, consciousness, and consciousness will be negative. So, therefore, then that will be the self defeating negative. Emotional stability, that will be again the negative will be there. Agency, communion, it is neutral. Security in attachment, then definitely in the case of the negative self negative direction, security in attachment is negative, and security in self esteem, that will also go to the negative. While humor uses and personality factors, when we talk about the negative and towards others, so then it will be conscientiousness, so it will here also it will be negative, and the agreeableness will be also negative, because then that is a sort of teasing to others, and the agency and communion, that will not be making any difference. Now, here I would like to mention one research paper, there is a changing definitions of work and play, importance of the workplace humor. Journal is National Academy of Psychology, and authors are the Hima Elizabeth, Matthew Vijayalakshmi in 2017. This particular paper talks about the world famous actor, comedian Charlie Chaplin once said that a day without laughter is a day wasted, but try applying the same quote in our workplace with fluctuating markets, unending competition and impossible deadlines, we may find more wasted days than the rest. So, therefore, in that case, because of this such a challenging task in the market, and tough competition is there, so and we have to meet the deadlines. So, therefore, it will become difficult, that is the to find the day with laughter. So, therefore, there will be many days without laughter, and therefore, very few days will be that will be used in that sense. All of us know that what it feels to experience humor, but most of us think twice before having a hearty laugh at our workplace. So, therefore, in that case, whenever we are at the workplace, and then if somebody is commenting something, we will be very cautious. We will not give our natural reaction of laughing. So, therefore, in that case, it becomes a very tough day at the workplace. This paper has attempted to answer this question and aims that is what is the barrier which stops us from the sharing humor at workplace, and aims to understand the concept of humor at workplace and its importance in today's context. So, here we will see the benefits of humor, and benefits of humor, it is at the individual level, group level and organizational level. And in individual level, it will be stress reduction. Definitely, whenever we are having the fun, or we are having the lighter moments and at the workplace, then our stress will be reduced. So, it will be stress reduction will be there. And whenever we are having the humor, to crack the humor and to understand the humor, in both the ways the creativity is required, and a person will be only enjoy the humor when he is able to cope up that particular stress. In case of the group is concerned, in the group cohesiveness. So, how, because we know that is whenever there is a group is formed. So, before forming the final forming the group, there will be storming session, storming, performing, and adjourning. So, here I will start the group stages, that is the forming, storming, norming, performing, and adjourning. This is the group is there. So, when we talk about the group cohesiveness, so naturally the group cohesiveness that develops then at the time of the performance, and then when you are it is based on the norms, and then performance is there. So, if we are having the group behavior, then definitely in that case we have to go for this the forming the norms and developing the norms for the group activity. So, therefore, there cannot be the negative side of the humor. So, once you know what are the norms are there and we have to follow those norms, then in that case it will be the norming stage will be there, and similarly there will be the performance will be there. The performance will be possible only when your norms are developed. Once your norms are developed, then definitely all will try to work together in those towards within that framework, and then norms will be developed. Then also in the group, because in the group it comes the status and power, because naturally the one of the group member that has to become the leader, and rest will be members. So, this status and power relationship between the leader and member, that will be the always question. So, but when the leader is having the good sense of humor and the members are also having the no hierarchy distance, informally they are close to the leader, then definitely there is nothing like a difference of the status and power, and when there is more informal relationship, then there will be a good sense of humor will be there. Communication, because the good sense of humor is there, and therefore the relationship between the superior subordinate, that will be good. When we talk about the benefits of the humor for the organization, then the first is coming, that is about the leadership. So, leader here I mentioned leader has to communicate with the members, and in that case if leader wants to go for this particular type of the leadership, then definitely this relationship of leader members, that will be developed right in the organization, and in a strong way. So, therefore, it will be plus, and if it is plus, then you will be able to derive the benefit of the humor. So, this at the organization, whenever we are talking about the relationship between the leadership and subordinate, then both should have a very strong relationship. One should have that is the sense of humor, and when they are having the sense of humor, they will be able to manage the good relationship with the members. Another very important aspect is organization culture. That is how is the culture in the organization. If the organization is having the informal relationship at the workplace, having the sense of humor, laughing, and laughter is the culture. So, therefore, in that case the employees will be more free, less stress will be there, and they will be having the high level of jokes, and therefore, better interaction, and the whole organization will be benefited. So, whenever we are talking about the benefits of the organization, in the benefits of the organization by the humor, it will become very important. That is, the humor is used at the individual level also between the superior subordinates, and also with the group, and then with the organizations. So, in the stress reduction, humor makes people feel that they are not afraid of the difficulty facing them. Without fear, they feel a greater sense of control, which in turn decreases stress. While joking about a stressful situation, the individual develops a sense of control and administration over it, thereby overcoming stresses and anxiety. So, therefore, many times it is joking about a situation, the individual and a sense of control and domination is over it. Studies have shown Humor may reduce burnout by helping employees deal with the problematic situations, reduce tension, regain the perspective on their jobs and facilitate a positive reinterpretation of the events are there. In the Bentley argued that through the use of humor one cannot deny a stressful situation. So, naturally at the workplace there are so many stress for the maintaining the resources, and therefore, as a result of which there is a requirement to cope up with the stress, but can provide for a balancing or stabilizing event and hence reducing the stress, and therefore, this sense of humor that will be reducing the stress. Creativity. Humor promotes openness to new ideas by relaxing people and making them less likely to criticize mistakes or new ideas. This leads to a risk taking, which is the basis of the creative thinking, and therefore, in that case we have to lead to the less and less risk taking on the basis of the creative thinking is important. Individuals in a humorous environment are more likely to engage in creative problem solving. In fact, research indicates this is very important, that is the creative problem solving. In fact, research indicates that exposure to humor has a positive effect on creative problem solving is there. So, whenever there is a humor, so there will be a positive way to a problem solving. Affiliative humor can be used to develop an open work environment in which ideas can be freely expressed and to communicate norms that support creativity. So, it will be the self enhancing humor can accomplish this same goal by making light of the failures related to the new ideas, and therefore, if we are having that self enhancing humor towards self and positive, that is a self enhancing humor can accomplish this same goal by making light of failures related to the new ideas, and this light of failures of the new ideas that can be done with the help of sense of humor. Group cohesiveness also we can increase through the positive reinforcement within a group and the reduction of external threats. Individuals who feel the threat of external competition could use aggressive humor by making jokes about their competitors, and therefore, in that case whenever you are making the jokes about your competitors, then that will become a fun. Internal forces such as new member initiation can take the form of mild aggressive humor. So, it becomes important, that is the such a new member initiation can be taken, and then the form of the mild aggressive humor is always there. Affiliative humor can increase group cohesiveness by associating positive emotions generated by humor with group membership, and therefore, naturally whatever the affiliative humor is there, affiliative humor is that was the first type of the humor and in dimensions of the humor at workplace, and therefore, when we are making this relationship, that is the positive and self enhancing. So, therefore, in that case it will increase the group memberships, and self enhancing at the group level can be employed to enhance the group members perception of the group, and therefore, if anybody is having a misperception about a group, then that can be minimized and can create an emotional connection to it. In case of the status and power, the joking patterns in organizations with respect to the status, he found that lower status members had more fun than higher status members. So, therefore, in the one study it has been found, that is those who are the low level executives, they enjoy more the humor at workplace. That the former status in a group is less significant determined when it came to a joking pattern than the individual's role in the larger society network, and therefore, it becomes very important, that is your role that become important whenever you are having the significant determinants. If the bosses are considered more as friends, then the group integrates them into the humor network. So, therefore, many times the many bosses they try to get incorporated with this the group members, and as a result of which you will find that that is becoming the part of the humor. Humor in communication creates an open atmosphere by awakening positive emotions that enhance listening, understanding and acceptance of messages. So, therefore, it is always making the people aware about the positive emotions, and when there are positive emotions, they will have the enhanced listening and understanding and acceptance. So, therefore, an environment is created which will be having more connection with the audience and to help the audience identify with them. Moderate self defining humor can facilitate the speaker identifying with the audience by releasing tension and temporarily reducing the speaker's status. So, whenever the speaker is there and he have a good sense of humor, so then definitely the one person can have the enjoy the speech also. Affiliated humor can accomplish the same goal as moderate self defeating humor when used by the group members to focus on similarities within the group and share humor. So, any affiliated humor can accomplish when they are talking about the self relationship. So, finally, I would like to talk about the leadership, and the use of humor at work by the leader helps enterprise and organizations grow and transform to enhance the overall performance. And basically for what? That is the securing power and reducing social distance, because whenever leader is in the hierarchy position, this gap we can fill with the help of the reducing social distance, and then in that when you are reducing the social distance, so you can be the effective leader. So, aggressive humor best fits this organizational outcome because it can assist leaders to solidify their positions in the hierarchy by demonstrating power over subordinates. So, many times the people if it is a positive affiliative and the positive is there, so then the cohesiveness will develop, but if it is an towards others and negative, then definitely it will create a distance. So, leader at the workplace should have the sense of humor, but that should be positive and towards the self and not towards the others. So, finally, I will conclude like this, that is the whenever we are talking about these leadership movements, and in the leadership movements when we talk about, that is the how the securing power and reducing social distance, that is the one can make the effective leadership, and to make the effective leadership we have to have more positive and cohesiveness and affiliation dimensions dominating in our the humor at the workplace, but we should avoid the negative and focusing others, because whenever we are focusing others and the negative humor is there, then it will spoiling the relationship. So, that therefore, if you want to develop the relationship at the workplace, so always try to be the positive and always have towards the self and never towards the others and negative. I am sure that is if we follow the norms, and when we can make the workplace very lighter and more effective. Thank you.